Hello traders, good day to you all. This is Christopher Glen. Today it is the 11th of June 2014, and from the beginning of the week I was talking about Wednesday and Thursday as the liquidized days during the week. We can see that we already received a good announcement regarding the pound this morning. The unemployment rate was better than the expectation, and the count change produced a better result than the expectation as well. We can definitely say that right now we've got a pretty quiet market in terms of potential trades, and we should look for good entry points toward the continuance of movements that already began. At the moment, we've got several very low announcements in terms of liquidity potential, but we do expect to see some sort of liquidity driven into the market at the beginning of the US market. Later tonight, we've got several announcements regarding the New Zealand dollar, but as I said at the beginning of the week, I'm not expecting to see a huge change occurring on the charts, and therefore I'm not expecting it to deliver a lot of liquidity. Let's go to the chart. Let's see what we've got for today. First of all, we will pay attention to the dollar index as we're doing every day. So on our dollar index, we can see that I've been talking about this uptrend. I've been talking about stronger dollar in the markets, and indeed we're climbing toward a higher rate over here. The average strength of the dollar is getting stronger as we go along. We've received a very nice impulse movement, then a pullback toward the band, and right now we received a bounce on top of that across and close beyond the last stop, which lies at the rate of approximately 81. Approximately 81. That's a logical support and resistance line for the dollar index. We can see that that's very accurate, 81. A close beyond this line will open a new gap, open a new trend toward a higher rate. At the moment we can block, my assumption is that the price will be blocked by this rate for several hours, even days. We will need to see whether the weekend or tomorrow even the announcement regarding the unemployment claims in the United States will deliver enough liquidity to add this uptrend movement strength so that it will be able to break this trend line and continue higher. We can see that this support and resistance line reacted in the past several times, and no question about it, there's a lot of pressure over here. Traders will pull funds out of the market, getting the dollar weaker before the announcements, so that we will see a bit of fluctuation level all around these levels, and then across if we will receive good announcements regarding the US dollar. Going over the currencies regarding the dollar, we can see that the Russian ruble completed its downtrend movement. At the moment, we've got a good potential to catch a continuance of an uptrend movement. So the dollar versus Russian ruble is in a potential to climb higher from this area and beyond. The dollar versus the Turkish currency, on the other hand, has a potential to drop down because we've completed an impulse movement and a corrective ABC pattern. You can go down to 4-hour chart. I'll show you that. So again, an impulse movement dropping down a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we've received an A wave, a B wave, and a potential for a C wave to climb till this rate and then drop down. So at the moment we've got a bit of confusion in the market. The dollar versus the Turkish currency is expected to drop down, while the dollar versus the Russian ruble is expected to climb up. So pay attention to both potential trades. Basically, taking both one against the other, it will be a suitable idea to express the difference between the Turkish currency and the Russian ruble. South African Rand, dollar versus South African Rand. I've been talking about this chart for several times. Even at the beginning of the week, I've been mentioning this chart as a good potential for an uptrend, and indeed we've received a very nice, clean several hundred pips of an uptrend over here. I do expect to see an additional uptrend movement on this chart. Next thing that I'm going to analyze is the potential on the Japanese yen. On the Japanese yen, we can begin to analyze the dollar in front of the Japanese yen. On one hand, we can see that we've received an impulse movement climbing higher since the end of May, and from the beginning of June, during June, we've received only fluctuation level, a downtrend, an A wave, a B wave fluctuating higher, and a C wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and at the moment we've got a potential to see a bit more downtrend on this area. Again, this is a 15-minute chart, not a daily chart. So my expectation is to see a bit of weakness over here, and then gaining strength, crossing the support line of this corrective pattern. Now, a logical entry point, if you'd like to stay away from the chart from difficult areas, a logical entry point will be once we cross this trend line. Trend line above the corrective pattern, across and a close beyond that will show us that indeed the market is ready to proceed higher, and it will help or affect other traders to do so. So once we'll cross this trend line, that will be a good entry point for an uptrend movement. And again, a stop loss should be below the last lower area at the corrective pattern. Looking at an hourly chart, we can see the same structure remained. Basically, we can see a higher structure of the first wave, the second wave, the third wave. The fourth wave is expected to drop down a bit, as I said, and the fifth wave to climb higher. So an uptrend is expected over here on the dollar versus the Japanese yen. We can see that while the dollar fluctuated around the same levels in front of the Japanese yen, we can say that for the past week, from the beginning of the week, we've received stronger Australian dollar, stronger New Zealand, stronger gold. The euro, on the other hand, lost a lot of strength during this week, from the beginning of the week. And we can say the same about the Swiss franc. Usually they are correlated, so it's very logical. The Canadian dollar was fluctuating around the same levels. This is why we haven't seen the dollar and the Canadian dollar moving toward a specific direction. We can see that the dollar versus Canadian dollar is just fluctuating backward and forward. That's the reason. We can see that both of them haven't really affected the market significantly. Therefore, we can't see a specific movement on the dollar versus on dollar versus Canadian dollar. The pound, on the other hand, we've mentioned that today we received a good announcement, and we can see that the pound is pretty liquidized, showing good potential to gain more strength further into the day, and that is my expectation for now. I wish you all the best with your trades. Have a pleasant day, and bye bye.